What's up, YouTube? We're back at it with another video. Friday night futon.
Back.
We had some good basketball games. We had Luka's um uh I guess revenge game against the Mavericks. He didn't go off for a crazy amount of points, but he did end up with a triple double. Um And then we just have some other big storylines, like how the Knicks can't win against a top three seed. They're 0-8 or 0-9. And then we have the true resurgence of the Pistons, who who had their winning streak, the largest of their franchise in the last decade, with a 7 game winning streak. So we have two very polar opposite stories. But I think we have to jump right into the Luka and Mavericks game. Kyrie Irving had a good night, 35 points, 7 assists, 5 threes, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. And then Luka ended with 19 points, like I said, not the greatest scoring night for him, but 15 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. And more importantly, the Lakers pull out the win. Were you watching this game, and what were you thinking about this when you were when 'cause there's a lot of anticipation going into this game.
Yeah. When I was watching this, I was one play I was particular about was how they were playing. The play between Luka and LeBron, how LeBron just kept passing Luka the ball and watching him post up, watching him work, and I was so amazed that they're actually starting to look better than ever. Um, if this continues, what does this mean for the West? I think the Lakers could end up in the fourth seed possibly. We just got to keep watching. I think if they keep on this pace with Jackson, if Jackson Hayes can become a double double machine, what are they missing?
I think
They
this the
got
bit.
they got yeah. What are they missing besides that? What you think?
I think the bigger thing with Jackson Hayes is, I mean, the utility that he has been providing has been nice, but I just think uh he just needs to be better with the fouling. You can't be having 3 fouls going into the third quarter. Um, so I just think that it needs to be a lot better. I I didn't really with the center talk and all that, I feel like you could get some fake type center minutes. You're getting really good defense and just all around just perimeter and defensive def and interior defense with Vanderbilt, and he's been playing really good. And then just the all around just 3-and-D player that we knew Dorian Finney-Smith was going to be. It's glad to see that he's kind of continued his good play from the Nets, and we haven't seen a dip from his play, because that could have really hurt them trading D'Angelo Russell and then getting a player that's not even producing anything. But Dodo is really out there defensively, and he has been hitting some good timely threes, and fits well with Luka as he played with him in the Mavericks. But I don't know. You talked about that post up play where I just kept going back and forth. But I felt like just in the later possessions of the games, once they saw it wasn't really like a Luka scoring night, there was a lot more isolation plays with LeBron James at the top, that I didn't really like all that much, because I felt like they were getting away from what was really being effective. And what really pushes this team over the top really is just the play that Austin Reeves has had, and him being the third ball handler, and he would be looked at some teams the second best ball handler, and just point of attack, just offensively type guy. Just seeing his growth with the Lakers is really what I think pushes them over the top, because I don't know that many teams that have a third guy like that, who can, well, other than the Celtics, who can really match that scoring power.
Yeah, watching Austin Reeves turn into basically like the third guy up is amazing. You see what he did when he dropped 44 points. He's been dropping these consistent 20 balls. You know what he kind of reminds me of? He kind of reminds me of like him and I know Josh. He's way better than Josh Giddey, but the way him and Josh Giddey on like the same rise, does that make any sense? Um, I feel like that kind of reminds me of Josh Giddey a little bit.
Yeah, no,
I
Austin
know it's a little off
Reeves'
topic,
game.
but
You know,
yeah,
you're right. Austin Reeves' game is kind of just weird, like kind of a weird thing. But yeah, I could see like a Josh Giddey also plays with a different pace than everybody else.
yeah,
Not, clearly, like you just said, not the same. Just they don't have the same mindset.
Yeah, definitely. But I feel like they got the
Josh
same
Giddey's going for
pace.
the pass. Austin Reeves is going for the bucket, but they're both very effective in their roles. Um,
And Rui Hachimura, come on,
yeah, I was gonna
he's getting
mention
better.
he had a very good breakaway dunk that really kind of was like somewhat of the nail in the coffin in
Booster.
that game. Um, I think his play would be really, really nice in the playoffs. We've seen that he's been very consistent in the playoffs, which is nice and exactly what they need. But yeah, I don't know, just the Jackson Hayes stuff. I don't really know if he's going to be giving you a double double every single game, and I don't really know if that's what I want to expect from him. But I just want to see him get out a little bit more foul trouble because if you play these top centers like Jokic or you play these top teams like even Karl Anthony Towns could get you in foul trouble. I know that would be the finals matchup, which would be bizarre, but just I'm talking about just the other centers in the West, other than Gobert, the other ones are pretty much going to attack you and get you in foul trouble. Um, moving on to
I
the
feel like yeah, yeah.
no, you're good. Oh no, you guys something to say?
I feel like if Jackson Hayes can have one breakout game, just one game where he scores 12 points, maybe like 3 blocks and 12 rebounds, maybe it could possibly turn out to be great, a great addition. You know how they said they needed that. Remember, I said they needed that Walker Kessler.
Yep.
Jackson Hayes, Jackson Hayes could be that. We don't know.
I
It's
don't think
still
he.
it's not likely. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's likely to happen, but I'm saying we don't know what these NBA players can do to the fully. But I wouldn't put it past them. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't put it past them.
Oh, no, I kind of do kind of put it past him because one game sample size is not going to give me anything. I don't really care about that. Like Luka and LeBron's going to be Luka and LeBron at some point, and and Jackson Hayes is going to prosper off of a big game eventually sometime. But I need like more consistent play. I mean, Derek Lively in his season looked better than Jackson Hayes just in his entire career. So I think
Yeah.
really that they messed out on the market with Mark Williams. I know that they had that big debacle with just him not being able to pass physicals, but that's why you don't make moves just only at the trade deadline. I think if you made that move earlier in the season, it would have been better. You wouldn't have had been so attached to Dalton Connect, and you could probably have pivoted easier, um, to like maybe a Clint Capella or somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where this team really stands out just contending wise because I don't know. We haven't really seen Luka been completely back comfortable with this team, so I'm still feeling it out with this team. But a team that I am very likely to see in the playoffs and has been on a very good streak, like I mentioned earlier, is the Pistons. And you have Malik Beasley shooting the ball amazingly. You have Jalen Duren being locked in every single game, which I felt like kind of this. Uh, I don't want to give him the Bam Adebayo just because Bam Adebayo has been games where he's not aggressive at all, but it kind of felt similar with Jalen, where you wouldn't or like the motor was there some games and the motor wasn't there some other games, but now you can see it's definitely there every game.
Double
Um,
guy. Yeah. So
Yeah, and then Thompson still not even getting I feel like the minutes that he deserves yet. Asar Thompson has gets less minutes than his brother, but then they have both of the same production really it looks like. And
yeah.
his brother is definitely a better scorer and has found a better footing more offensively, but just the defense that Asar Thompson has been able to add has been really, really good for this team. Um, they
And
pl
also, can we add about Cade Cunningham? How he's able to either one game have 12 assists and 10 rebounds. He just I think he's better than LaMelo Ball right now. That's all I'm gonna say. Right
Oh
now,
yes, for sure.
Cade Cunningham is better than LaMelo Ball.
Kate Cunningham's
Before
looking like
it
an
was
all
kind of
NBA type point guard this year.
yeah. Before it was kind of iffy, but now we know for sure.
Yeah, and this is
Because
this is with them taking out one of the top seeded Celtics the other night.
yep.
Um,
Mhm.
we'll get into some games that we're looking forward to. But that was a very big statement win for the Pistons to be able to come out and not keep the Celtics first under 100 points and then come out with the victory is both
Yeah.
very big things for a young team. And um, it's not very often that you see like you saw with the Magic, they kind of just had the collective good defense, but this team has the collective defense and it has the shooting capabilities as they were able to splurge a little bit in the free agency. And it's looking like they're kind of the team that is I think going to replace this Orlando Magic team. They have their top three players, Suggs, Paolo Banchero, and Wagner have only played 97 minutes this whole entire season, which is you cannot have that. Succeeded expectations, but now they are coming back down to earth. Cole Anthony got I think banged up the other night too, so just seeing another player like that go down, who was giving you production above his standards, it hurts to see
Definitely.
that for that team. And I honestly have the Magic maybe falling out of the playoffs, and just falling into the play-in, which the play-in for the East doesn't, it looks like it's going to be another Heat Bulls battle or Hawks Heat Bulls, the same group of teams that we always see in the play-in for the East, but the play-in for the West looks like a dogfight.
Yep.
Um, another
Let
team
me fix my
that
camera.
Another team that I want to just pronounce pretty much not dead in the I mean dead in the water is the 76ers. I mean, we saw them get blown out by 50 by the Bulls and then they lost
That was
they lost
crazy.
they lost another the other night to the Knicks only by 5, but I feel like we saw the talks about I'm sorry, can you hear that vacuum? They get a vacuum in the
No, I can't
background.
hear it. Hold on.
All
Let
right,
me fix my camera. It's lagging. Hold on.
that's good though.
Let me
But
close my tabs.
with the Knicks beating the 76ers and then with just the more and more reports of just how Joel Embiid needs surgery and just the severity of his surgery, what it'll look like will look like a uh pretty much just a complete restructure of his knee with just taking out some things and putting them back in. It's looking really bad. I think if I were to jump, I would jump on that situation. I don't know if that's Joel Embiid or the front office holding back on the surgery, but I mean, they're saying the recovery would be 6 months, and then we're not even into the surgery yet. So it's getting
Crazy.
scary. Because you knew it with this Paul George contact that it was that your windows were the pretty much the first 2 years. You have the whole first year pretty much ruined now, and you're looking to get your top seven protected pick, or else it goes to OKC. And then it depending on how delayed this surgery is, it's looking like it's going to bleed into the next year, which is
Yeah.
not what you want.
Yeah. If you, I want to ask this to y'all out there. If y'all were the 76ers GM, what would y'all do? Would y'all, one, y'all could let Joel Embiid go? Two, y'all could wait it out? Or three, y'all could try to restructure the team to make it make sense some way how? Because this is not the Sixers we're usually seeing. You know? They never been this behind. They always been kind of behind, kind of sluggish, but they never been this bad. This is probably the worst they've been.
Yeah, since they're trust the process era when they like with Noel and stuff with Thaddeus Young. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think the best
Yeah,
if I was the GM, I would not push Joel Embiid into surgery, but I would see if I would try to get him into surgery as fast as he could, just cause and pretty much write this
yeah,
off as a write off because you do have a top seven protected pick, so you're at this, and then they can't even get past the Bulls. So I would just go in the other opposite direction and make sure that we get that top seven protected pick because we don't need because even if that ends up being the eighth or ninth pick, that means that now the OKC has a top 10 pick, which is crazy to say. Um,
yeah,
yeah, no, it's looking really bad for the 76ers. I would just kind of clamp it as a bow this year because it's not even that you're developing your young players like Jared McCain, who also went out before the All-Star break. So it's like, what are we really playing for at this point? I think we're gonna the players that we are playing are like I've mentioned, you're gonna lose Yabusele in the market. He's getting paid the minimum. There's no way that he's getting paid the minimum next year. Some teams definitely gonna take their chance on Yabusele. Andre Drummond's fit with the 76ers again has not been that great. Um,
Yeah, not great at all.
and then they're just relying on older point guards with Reggie Jackson and Kyle Lowry, and I think they pretty much moved on from Reggie Jackson. So the only thing to really look up in Philly is the Phillies right now. And the reason I got this on is because
Yep.
spring training kind of has started. So I think that's the only real competitive team in Philly right now. I'm not a big hockey fan, so I don't really
Besides the
know.
Eagles,
I don't
never
know what's going
starts.
on
Yeah.
with them. But yeah, the Eagles won their Super Bowl, but looking like this is pretty much going to be a dead year for the 76ers.
Yeah.
Keeping
They need to
on,
take this year off and
yeah,
rebuild.
keeping on the kind of just bad storylines as of recent. The 70s, I mean the Knicks have been a glaring hole that they cannot be a top three team. They are 0 and 8 against the top three teams. What are your thoughts on this with the Knicks not being able to get over the contending hump?
So the problem with the Knicks is they have always had this kind of problem. Like they either get good and not be able to get over this hump. What do you think about that? I don't know what they can do this better. They have a great team. Cat can give you 30. Jalen Brunson can give you 30. It's just they just give up too many points. Like these high scoring, they gotta somehow figure out how to lower teams from scoring so many points. I think that's their main problem. Like they'll go on a run, then they'll let the team go on a run, the other team on the run, and then every game is like a nail biter with them.
It does feel like they're in a lot of close games, and with the
Like
roster
too
like
many.
that, I just feel like my biggest thing is really that in a way, I look at this team as like the Celtics kryptonite, another because they have a stretch big that's honestly I would say Cat's better than Porzingis, and they have the wings, and that's what you need to beat the Celtics. That you have to have the wing defense and you have to have the stretch big, and they have both of that, but they have not been able to steal a game from them at all, which has been surprising. Um, so I don't know. I just my biggest thing with them all year is I knew that Cat wasn't really gonna provide this interior defense, and it feels like that Knicks fans are kind of just banking on Mitchell Robinson to come back. But I've been kind of underwhelmed with Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. I thought the Christmas game that Mikal Bridges had was kind of gonna be kind of that eye-opening. Uh, he seemed to have been a better fit, but there's still some nights where it's 0 for 5 from 3, 0 for 4 from 3 from OG. It's like that's not what you need at all when you're playing against the Celtics. When you have Peyton Pritchard, who's putting up more threes than some entire team's benches just by himself. That's the stuff that's really going to kill you. It also feels like even though Cat has been an amazing rebounder this year, it kind of has seemed like the defensive rebounding, and I don't know, there's really team really hasn't felt like the amazing offensive rebounding team that it was the previous year. Like I said, still Mitchell Robinson out, but you kind of see that big boost that was my biggest thing
Yeah,
with the Rockets, and they beat the Celtics in their buzzer beater game from Amen Thompson. That they got so many possessions back, and that's how you're going to beat a team that's putting up a lot of threes. Is that you're just going to have to get if you're going to beat them by twos, you best make sure you have double the possessions as they do. Um, with the offensive rebounding. But yeah, no, the Knicks are very they're in a tough spot because um I think it's just we're just waiting to see how they perform in the playoffs and just because and their matchup is going to be very big to them, and I think more important than some of the other teams' matchups because I think they really need just to start off the playoffs really strong and make sure they get a good route.
definitely.
But yeah, the I was looking at their schedule. I don't know the next time they play a top team again, but they're gonna need to take out off of some of these other teams. I don't want to break into the games of the nights and games of the weeks and stuff, but they do play the Grizzlies two later in the week. I believe it was not today, but tomorrow. And that's a big game because the Grizzlies are another team where I came on the pod numerous times and kind of asked you what's going on with John Morant because it doesn't seem like that it's really the same John Morant that we're accustomed to seeing.
Yeah.
And then what do you think about this
Yeah.
Grizzlies Knicks matchup?
So I seen he did an interview and he's talking about how his grandmom, I don't know if I'm not sure if she passed or something happened with his grandmom. So I think that was the reason why one game, like, you know, how he be having these games where he scores 12 points.
Yeah,
I think he's going through that, which is fine. I understand it's a personal problem. Um, but we have a savior in Jaren Jackson.
yeah. Jaren Jackson Jr. has
J.
definitely been the
Triple
savior for
J's
this
been
team.
saving. He's been saving for sure, and Desmond Bain. So I'm glad. I'm happy about that. Um, Jalen Wells has also been doing well. Um, I really do. Besides John Morant just leading the team, I don't see they have a big problem or anything. They're like top three in the West right now.
Yep. That's why I just think that
I
next
don't.
next Grizzlies game is going to be interesting because it kind of seems that we
Yeah,
haven't gotten both 100. I mean, the Knicks, I feel like they do it looks like they just don't have enough. But
yeah,
the Grizzlies kind of just I feel like it's kind of interesting because it's two of the top teams, but we're questioning them a lot, and that would be an interesting game. That's why I just wanted to highlight that game. But yeah, I I do think that John Morant can find his footing. I hope it's in the playoffs, but I wish he just kind of went back to just. I feel like the shooting has definitely gone down, and that he's been settling. And I don't know if that's just him not wanting to dunk anymore, like he commented earlier, but I just feel like
yeah,
the aggressiveness is not really there.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully by playoff time he's ready to go.
Oh yeah. And then I guess since we're on this topic already, I kind of jumped the gun here, but I think my game of the game of the week is tomorrow. We got the Cavs versus the Celtics. We're getting those another rematch with the top two seeds in the East. What are your predictions for this one? Both teams have stolen a game from each other.
I got the Cavs pulling it away. I got the Cavs pulling it away. Porzingis has been. He's a great player, but he's kind of always hiding sometimes. Sometimes he can only give you about 14 or 12. Um, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, they don't got who's gonna come on. They're gonna dominate that.
Yeah,
Um,
this will be the first this will be the first time that the Celtics will be seeing DeAndre Hunter, the new with the Cavs,
mhm.
and I'm going to go with you as well. I think the Cavs are on a real big burner here.
Yeah,
Um, Peyton
they
Pritchard
got
and
a lot of
Ty
def. They got
Jerome.
too much defense. Come on.
Yeah, the Ty Jerome and Peyton Pritchard that they've been kind of like the two big six men of the year, and I think currently right now Ty Jerome's kind of on a better burner right now, and I think that can definitely carry over into this game. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, both
and coming off the
bigs.
bench, you got Max Truss too. Come on, like it's too many. They got a lot of. They got a full team. I think they might be better than the Celtics.
I think
Honestly.
this from top to bottom, like like roster
You look
construction
if you look at
wise,
roster if you look at rosters on paper,
that would be I don't know because
if
yes,
they're not better,
the
they're pretty close.
the bench unit is I believe better than the Celtics because it really is carried by Peyton Pritchard. But that starting five, I think there's arguments for all five of
Yeah,
those guys being all-stars at some points in their career, even Derek White, where I feel like DeAndre Hunter has a no chance of making a all-star. And then I don't really know how high Jared Allen's chances are of making it anymore, but I
yeah,
I, I do I
I
do
agree with that. I agree with
I
that.
I do think Jared Allen and Evan Mobley have play very good defense with against Porzingis. So and sometimes he can be act like he's not really out there.
Yeah,
Um but yeah, I'm expecting a big game from Donovan Mitchell. Because I feel like if he's kind of been the one that's been really carrying them through these Celtics games. Darius Garland has been injured a little bit here and there, just missing some ticky-tack games. So I'm expecting a bigger game from Donovan Mitchell coming in here and trying to put a real end to this series between the Celtics and
yeah,
Cavs, and I think it'll be a real statement win if they're able to
yeah.
beat more have more wins against them in the season. I think that's I mean going back to some podcasts with us. I mean the one thing that we were really waiting on is for the Cavs to beat the Thunder, and they beat the Thunder, and
Hmm.
then they've been beating the Celtic. They beat the Celtics, so I mean I think if they're able to win this again, I think there's no doubt that this team can be a finals team now. I mean I
Definitely.
kind of had them at their ceiling still being the Eastern Conference Finals, but with the way that they've been consistently playing throughout the whole entire year. Um, their record is 48 and 10. Um, I could really see this team in the finals, and I would not be surprised like how I
Yeah,
would have been surprised in the beginning of the year.
let's see if they're able to beat the defending champs. Come on, we got to remember the Boston Celtics just won.
Yeah, and they're a very similar team.
They just won, and if they be able to, if they can beat them once, they can beat them again. They just have to have the right strategy. That's all.
Yep. What's some of the other games that caught your eye before we look on forward to some of the newer games?
Another game that caught my eye, which was a shocker, the Brooklyn Nets and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, that was a competitive game. OKC winning 129 to 121. What caught your eye in this one?
Um, how every they had all four contributions from OKC. Shea had the thing about Shea is even if he scores 22 points, he still is able to get his teammates involved. He only had 5 assists, but I know his plus minus was probably up there if you had to look it up. Um, everybody was able to score 22.
Actually, it was
You had
negative
J Dub
15.
score 22. It was negative 15.
Yeah.
Dang, dang,
He did have 27 and 6 and
dang.
5.
That's
That sounds like kind of like a 2K game with me with
yeah,
him. But I
right.
think I think another big thing is just
I just
this
like how the whole team was able to like get to double digits almost.
yeah, I'm Uh, my big thing with this game was that we've seen the Aaron Wiggin games where he can get hot from three, and
Yeah,
that's how he gets a lot of his points. He had 24 points, shooting
crazy,
2 for 7 from three.
crazy.
He shot 11 for 19, taking 19 shots from Aaron Wiggins. I don't think I'd ever see that, but it's nice to see that he was able to get also another spark game without relying on the 3-pointer because I feel like that's what a lot of this
Yeah,
kind of is when when you get like that PJ Washington game or you get that um like I don't know just what some weird Grant Williams game that we saw from the Celtics that one year is that,
mhm.
like these kind of like corner guys don't get respected and then they just light you up from three. Caleb Martin, another player that has had it numerous times in his career with the Heat, and then he had it with the 76ers on Christmas. But so it's nice to see that he was able to get his stuff off without
Yeah, definitely. I was
relying on a
shocked.
three. Um, and then the Nets, I think, yeah, the Nets being able to be still competitive. I thought they were going to go down with but um, they don't even have D'Angelo Russell playing this game. They took a flyer on Killian Hayes, who was able to have 19, 2, and 7, actually looking like a real NBA player out there. And then the bigger thing for me is that they had Hartenstein and Chet starting in the starting lineup. Chet did have 22 and 17 rebounds, but that did not stop Shaden Sharp, who is not a prolific big in the league. He had 25 points and 15. I think that's a bigger thing with the OKC is that even with their two bigs like we thought was going to be like it's all right. They have their
Unstoppable.
two big guys. I mean, Shane Sharp, a guy like that, is still getting his stuff off. I mean, it's kind of scary that that top team like the OKC can kind of get clamped on a 2-3 zone and
Yeah,
have a big dominate them.
yeah. When he had 25 points, I was like, man, why? I was like, why? This is crazy. The reason I was so shocked is because they never really had two bigs. They always had two bigs, but they never really had them playing together. Like,
They started, but yeah.
yeah, started in and out. So I think maybe they were just like trying to figure it out. What you think?
I don't know. Yeah, they're still staggering their minutes and stuff, and I
Yeah.
think there's still some things to work out there. But I mean, Another player, Zaire Williams, having 18 points and 10 rebounds. That's like unacceptable from like
Yeah.
a top team like that. Those are the type of performances that can really sting you in the playoffs. That you let a player get too hot and get too many rebounds, and I don't know. But we're gonna take our break. We'll see you guys back after the break and to talk a little bit more basketball.
All right. See ya.
Welcome back. Thank you for waiting after the break. We're just gonna get into some games, some upcoming games, what we're excited for. I think tonight with the Thursday, with it being Thursday, I think we are shooting this, recording this on a Thursday, so we do have some of the Thursday night games to talk about. And a big one for me is the one on Max, which the Max ones have kind of been lackluster, but these are two competitive teams that I think they haven't had that much prime time type coverage, but that's gonna be the Nuggets versus the Bucks. So
Yes.
what we think about that, and how what do we think about the outcome of this one?
So I see the Nuggets win this one. Will it be hard? Yes. Giannis can score 30. Dame can score 50. Yes, it's gonna be hard. You got Kyle Kuzma. It's gonna be hard. But the Nuggets have won their last not 10. Of their last 10 games, they won nine and they lost one.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I feel they're confident. I feel like for them it's just another game. As in the Bucks, they're at the fifth seed right now, so they need this win.
yeah. This
Honestly.
this 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 would propel them up
Yep.
a little
hmm
bit.
And for the Nuggets, it's just like another game. Honestly, um, I'm excited to see how Jamal Murray does because we seen what he did against Portland when he dropped 55. Now it's time to see how he does against these better teams. Is he
Yeah,
going to give you a 16-point game, or he can give you 30? So I'm
yeah.
interested. That's like my big takeaway from this game. What you think, Quentin?
Uh, so he, so yeah, so Jamal Murray has been kind of nice, just on the more recency of things, and I've liked the. I just played with them on 2K. Uh, don't know how well that video would do because it was very laggy, but Russell Westbrook feels like just a much better fit off the starting lineup, and then Jamal Murray just feels a lot nicer coming off the bench. Jamal Murray coming off of a knee injury right now, and they won't have Peyton Watson, who's also out for a knee injury. Um, and then Giannis is day to day with his calf. So I'm just hoping that we get 100% Giannis.
Yeah,
Because that's what we're going to really need to take out this Nuggets team. I'd really like to see the different type of pressures that they can do with the Nuggets because I feel like they do match up with them quite well. You have Lopez to throw at Jokic while also having Giannis as the roamer. I think a lot of other teams get oversized and overmatched with the Nuggets, but
yeah,
Kyle Kuzma and MPJ have similar measurements, to where I don't feel like that he should be overpowered. Um, Saw a stat that that since Kyle Kuzma's joined the Bucks, when the person that he's guarding on average shoots 35%. So it's nice to see that he's kind of locked in defensively and kind of because we were questioning on how he would do after
yeah,
the Wizards stint and just how engaged and true like meaningful basketball he would play, and he's been doing it. He's been but he it's nice to see that this I think is a very good home for him because it is asking for him to do some things defensively, but as any contending team would. But it's also asking him to do a lot more offense that I would think a lot of these other contending teams would ask from him. There are times, especially with Giannis with this calf strain, there's times where Giannis is on minutes restrictions, or it's just that you're not getting 100% Giannis, and they need a person to go out there and score the
yeah,
basketball other than Damian Lillard. Um, which is what Kyle Kuzma has been able to add. But I do agree with you. I do think this should be a win for the Nuggets. It would be a more staple win for the Bucks, and I think it just needs to be a confident win for the Nuggets. Um,
yeah, definitely.
Moving on, I think the next I'm gonna kind of combine these two games together.
Okay.
Could we have a back-to-back for the Lakers? We have them versus the Timberwolves. I know you're excited to see Luka versus Anthony Edwards matchup. And then the next night, the Lakers play. Oh, sorry, I just had it in front of me. They play the next night um against the. I can't pull it up for some reason. It's not letting me. But what do you think about this Timberwolves game first before so I can get some time to pull this up?
Yeah, take your time. This is gonna be the game of the night, y'all. I'm
Oh,
saying it here. This is definitely gonna be the game of the night. Why? I'm gonna give you 5 reasons. Anthony Edwards, Luka, LeBron. He may or may not play. We don't know. Nas Reed, who can give you 30 points. Austin Reeves, who can give you 30 points.
Nas Reed was a huge person a huge player in that comeback against the OKC the other night as well. We didn't really touch on that game at all, but that was a very,
Yep.
very big comeback win. I know you were talking about that before we watched it on the pod. Um, that was a very big game. But I'm looking at it. Their next game would be the Clippers, and that's a tough back to back. Timberwolves then Clippers, both teams that are kind of in the middle of the pack in the West. Um, Honestly, I feel like the Clippers are a better team than the Timberwolves, but so I wouldn't really want to play them off a back to back. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for this game. I feel like this game will bring back all the NBA viewers from the old times who make feel like the NBA now is bad. So I'm excited. I hope it's a high scoring game, and I hope no team just lays down.
And Rudy Gobert's kind of a center that I think Jackson Hayes can uh
Yeah,
he can definitely outmotor Rudy Gobert. So this could
I
be.
think Rudy Gobert is out. I'm
Oh,
pretty
he is.
sure. Yeah, he's out.
Oh yeah, he has been out for some time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out with his back still, and of course, Julius Randle has been out with his groin injury for a good amount of time. But it's nice to see with those two players being out, you've been seeing an uptick in McDaniels' offense, which is really
McDaniels. I'm about to
nice.
say when you gonna mention McDaniels?
Which is really nice to see. I mean, just his uptick in offense is kind of what we've been waiting for with him. I don't want that to go away when Randall or Gobert come back, but yeah, I think if we get this kind of star-studded offense with Anthony Edwards and he's either going to go against either LeBron or Luka, it's kind of tough. I haven't really seen a game with the Lakers where LeBron and Luka both pop off
Yeah,
offensively. So it's kind of I think he's probably going to have to take on one of those tasks, and then it's going to be nice to talk about. I think that other underlining matchup where we talking about Austin Reeves and his contributions. I mean, McDaniels is right there along with him, and he's been very,
yeah,
very good in these last stretch of games without Gobert and Randall on the court.
definitely.
And they recently signed Bones Highland to a 10-day, I
I seen
believe,
that.
which is nice because it was also kind of interesting because I feel like they finally started to give Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon Jr. minutes, and they go and get Bones Highland, who at all of his stints has had trouble getting minutes. So I thought that was kind of an interesting signing. But yeah, what do you think about the next game against them versus the Clippers, the Lakers and Clippers?
I think the Clippers need this one more than the Lakers, honestly. Um,
Hmm.
I think they definitely do. They need the morale. I feel like James Harden just needs to get back into the rhythm, honestly.
Yeah, he had 30
I
the
feel
other
like the
night, but it wasn't a efficient
yeah.
30.
Hmm.
And it was a kind of a sloppy win against the Bulls. I mean,
Yeah.
the Bulls aren't that great of a team, so they were able
He
to
supposed to
come.
blow them out. Yeah, he supposed to blow the Bulls out.
Yeah.
Like those
Um,
teams, when you get free games like that, you supposed to try to abuse them.
yeah. I think Zubac getting outplayed by Zach Collins that game. Zach Collins had 21 points and 17 rebounds and 7 assists. I was not
Yeah, that
expecting
shouldn't
that.
happen.
Yeah, I think Zubac has honestly been one of the most consistent and probably like one of the best big men in the league this year. I think he's been really, really good and a big staple reason why the Clippers have been performing above average. And he's honestly been leading one of the best defenses in the league. So that's where I kind of can see it might be a complete different opposite. I think this Timberwolves game, like you said, is going to be a high scoring, good game. But that Clippers game, Lakers coming off a back to back, and the Clippers, I think if they hone in defensively, that could be a real gritty game.
Definitely.
Yeah, what are your other thoughts on the games tonight?
Who does Dallas play? I just checked it earlier. Who does Dallas play again?
Dallas is going to be playing the Hornets, which is going to be a wash. I think
Yeah.
they'll definitely come out and whoop the Hornets after losing to the Lakers. And then we
One
have,
one yeah, one interesting game that nobody's really talking about. I know the Suns. I know the
yeah,
Suns
Suns
and Pelicans.
Pelicans. Yeah, that's
That's
what I was just going
interesting,
to talk
but
about. Both
I
teams
want
are
to say a game.
grueling.
I want to say a game nobody's going to talk about really. The Magic and the Warriors.
Mm.
This has a chance to be a great game. Why? You got Stephen Curry. You got Franz Wagner. If the Magic beat the Warriors, I know everybody's looking like, oh, the Warriors are a bad team this year, so if they lose, it's okay. But no, you're playing. You gotta remember who you're playing. You're playing against Stephen Curry. So anything to boost them.
Yeah,
I think,
that's going to be a
and they're
first
also,
game.
yeah, they're also lower. They're also like in the seventh seed, so they need all the wins to catch up.
Yeah, it does feel like a kind of, if I kind of a weird game to have the first game of the night. Warriors are
Yeah,
31 and 27, Magic are 29 and 31. They've both been in the similar spots in the season, but I feel like they're both at the exact opposite spots with Jimmy Butler being added to this team. The Warriors have really picked up their win total, and the Magic, even though with their acquisitions of uh Paulo and Wagner coming back from injury, having Suggs be out still like it hurts and it shows. I think it's good. I think it's a Warriors W. I don't know how intense I'm going to be watching this game. It won't be
yeah,
the first
I
game of the
understand.
night, so
Yeah,
I definitely will have it on. But I don't know. I'm not as excited about this game as you are because I think uh
yeah. I just have a little bit of excitement of it. I just, like a little hint. Like I think
mm,
it may go the distance. But we never know.
yeah and it's kind of weird. The Warriors are kind of weird because I mean. The I've been waiting for them just to see Kaminga also back because I feel like I'm gonna get a better feel for this team, but I also don't know how much I really want to see Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Kaminga out on the court at the same time. I think when Kaminga's back, they're definitely gonna have to do some staggering minutes, and not have all three of them out on the court at the same time. But yeah, but I think that's honestly what's been the biggest thing for the Warriors that they've been able to win these games without Kamingo and without kind of
Yeah,
like their fullest strength yet. Um, but I wanted to go back to that game where both teams are grueling right now, the Pelicans and Suns. If the Suns don't win this game, that is going to be a very embarrassing loss for the Suns. Um, but the Suns, I mean, I remember the Suns and Pelicans kind of got a little chirpy last that was last year when Zion hit that 360 dunk at the very end of the game.
yep, I
Um,
remember that.
they get so that I'm kind of excited to see this one a little bit. That has a little bit more rivalry stakes
Yeah,
than actual standing stakes, which you don't really see that often in the NBA. Uh, teams that kind of want to
yeah,
go at it, but don't really aren't playing for much anymore.
yeah.
Um,
And Devin Booker, we gotta mention Devin Booker hates Zion for that, so he
he
might try to
does.
go out and try to score 30.
Yeah. And then I think the bigger night, the next night is our Friday night, which is our Friday night futon
Yep.
night. We got the Nuggets
Yeah.
and Pistons, two teams that have been going up and up in the standings. I think that's gonna be a if the Pistons are able to pull out a win against the Nuggets, that would be a very huge win for them.
Very.
We already talked about the Cavs, Celtics, Thunder, Hawks. I think I would write this game. I would have wrote this game off a little bit, but with the Thunder losing to the Timberwolves in like clutch time, I think, and just the the off and on that the Hawks can be, I think this actually might be a fun watch. I didn't really expect the Hawks to be that entertaining with Jalen Johnson being out, but they still have been able to be competitive.
Yep.
Dyson Daniels
Trae Young's
looking
holding
like
it
a
down.
defensive, all defensive first team from Dyson Daniels. Um, I think that can be a very big game.
Definitely. I believe Dyson Daniels able to, he had one game when he had 7 steals.
Yeah. And
So it's
then
like he's able to really lock it down.
then we have the borderline play-in and playoff teams with the Pacers, Heat. I really haven't figured out the entire Heat thing yet. I thought the Wiggins fit was going to be kind of better because I felt like Wiggins is a dumbered down version of Jimmy Butler, and I thought that they would able to implement him really well into the lineup. But The Heat aren't gonna move me at all until Bam Adebayo gets aggressive. I have yet to see him be
Yeah,
aggressive. Um, Khalil Ware has looked like a better big man the entire year. It's kind of been sad to say, but
definitely.
he, and then we have the true play-in matchup against the Raptors Bulls. I hope my Raptors can pull out that win. But the Bulls have been playing really well. We talked about
Yeah,
Josh Giddey. Um,
Josh Giddey, man, he can give you 17 rebounds, 16 assists, and 10 points. That's the thing about him. The thing about I like about Josh Giddey, besides they got the same name, is his efficiency on the court. Like we know him, we know how he is. We know
yep,
he might not score. He might score 9 points, but he might have 12 rebounds. He might have 7 assists. So he's always contributing.
yeah, and
So
I think
I like that about the Bulls, really.
Modest has really kind of stepped into his own after the dunk contest too. I feel like he's been
Definitely.
playing a lot better. Kobe White's splits have been gone down a little bit, but I
Yeah.
think that's honestly fine because Lonzo Ball has been back in the lineup, and that's always nice to see with the defense there. And then that last game, we talked about the Clippers Lakers, but that last other game is the Timberwolves Jazz, and the Timberwolves. However, this outcome goes against the Lakers, I think they're very, very happy to see that they play the Jazz on for the following night because I think win or loss, they're going to need to have the Jazz come up on their schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank y'all for watching another episode of
Thank you so
Friday Night
much.
Futon. We'll be back next Friday, covering a lot more basketball. A lot of hopefully we get a lot more answers or kind of figured out. That's kind of what I've
About the
liked about the
standings. Yep.
podcast the most is that we come every podcast with a bunch of questions and then we either get them figured out or we don't.
Or
I
we
think
don't.
we kind of been
Or it
having
takes time. Yeah.
we figured out what the Cavs are this year. We kind of it's nice to see this sprouting Pistons team, but it's time to see where a lot of these other contending teams lie, like the Bucks, Nuggets, and Lakers. But thank you all again for watching. Any last words from you,
Thank you so
Josh?
much. Go Timberwolves. Yeah.
Go go like and
Go
subscribe to Friday Night
Timberwolves.
Futon, and also go like and subscribe and follow me on Twitch for Gibbets the Clown Gaming if you
It's
want
the
to see
clown.
some 2K gaming or Rainbow Six gaming. We'll see y'all next Friday. Thank you very much. Deuces.
Peace.